back to the next exciting episode of Catch of the Week. Today we've got some disc-based items for when you don't quite have a Frisbee, but you're in the mood for Frisbee. First of all, a plate that's Jell-O with a rubber band.
No sugar added. Apple pie.
No sugar added. We got the wrong pie.
We'll just start around.
We'll make do. We'll make do. And finally, a Nissan hubcap. Not sure which Nissan this goes to, but it's a hubcap. I found it on the side of the road. It was not stolen. What?
Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of
Catch of the Week.
This week we're going to be talking about the no sugar added apple pie,
No sugar added apple pie.
the hubcap,
The hubcap.
and
from
we're
a
going to be
Nissan.
talking about the Jell-O plate with fruit on the bottom.
Fruit in the bottom. Well, it was from one of the side, honestly. We were kind of a little haphazard making it, but
Yeah.
you guys get the point.
Mhm.
This week, though, this is the Frisbee episode, so they're all very discus items. And you'll notice in the video, we throw them all like a Frisbee. Mostly. The apple pie got a little special, but it's because it's apple pie. And, you know, it was no sugar added. And the lack of sugar really, it really interfered with the structural integrity of the, of the apple pie.
I know we were talking about it, and you said you thought that the sugar might have made a good binding agent.
I think sugar would have made an excellent binding agent for the apple pie.
So yeah, the apple pie, I feel like it would have been good if we had kept it in the container.
Yep. So, the apple pie, it comes in a plastic container with a plastic lid. Dave decided, you know what, let's take it out. Let's hold it just in that aluminum kind of baking tin it comes in and just free on the top.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would stay in there. That was
He did.
my mistake.
I didn't, but I went with it because
You've got an eye for this business.
I do. I have an eye for the business for sure. That's why I was so good in that jeans league we were talking about. Shit. I do have a good eye for this business. That's why I decided that this was the show that we needed to make. Yeah, so the apple pie, as you guys saw, falling out of the tin. Before long, we're not even playing catch with a Frisbee like we intended. We're just playing catch with clumps of apple pie.
It was a mess.
It was.
Let me tell you.
It was.
It was a whole debacle.
Mhm.
It was multiple pieces are flying at you, so you can't
Yeah.
catch
Mhm.
everything that's coming at you.
Yep.
It's
At some point, you just had to say, screw it, we're going to leave the pan, and I'm just going to pick up this fistful of apple pie, bite one of the apples, to look like a savage, and then I'm just going to throw it. And that's what we did, and it was fine.
but it was just fine.
It was
wasn't
just fine.
And it wasn't anything more than that.
And it left us sticky. It was... I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest.
No, not recommended.
Not recommended
Thumbs
at all.
down.
Next item was the Jell-O with the fruit on the side. Much better item. The fruit being to the side, I think, gave it a little bit of a counterweight that you wouldn't expect to a Frisbee, which made it kind of more interesting, and it made it fly in a more circular motion. It really rotated in the air, I think.
Have you ever thrown one of those Nerf footballs with the tails in the end?
Yes.
It's just like that. That's exactly how it performed.
He's
You
right.
know,
It's exactly the same thing. He's spot
That's
on.
Exactly. It gives it that perfect spiral that you wouldn't get if the fruit wasn't there.
You're right.
Counteracting.
Fruit's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, now you think if you're catching this plate of Jell-O, that's absurd. It's not covered. You're gonna get all sticky.
Mhm.
But no, it was actually fantastic. It made the game of catch much more interesting. Because when you're catching this Jell-O, you can't just palm it and grab
Right.
the whole thing because you're gonna get Jell-O all over your hands. So you gotta kind of cup it like almost like you're in an egg toss. You need to grab it by the bottom or the sides.
And keep moving
so you don't
with it.
Yeah,
You have to-
and move with it.
Yep.
Exactly.
It made the game more interactive.
Yeah,
you
you
weren't
have
just
to-
mindlessly.
You were just mindlessly throwing.
barbarically just catching this plate.
Yeah. You were just
putting-
throwing plates around like a. There was finesse involved. It was something else. It
It was
was
wonderful.
It was a fun
I
time.
really enjoyed the plate.
Right. So did I.
How'd you feel about the color? That was my only issue with the
color?
plate.
The black. I think the black was the right color on the plate. We picked red Jell-O, the cherry Jell-O, because we thought that the red would really pop nice against the black plate. But in reality, I think a blue or a green Jell-O would have been better, a lighter color, because the red just kind of You know, it's a nice bright red normally, but being against that black plate, it almost took on almost like a blood red, I would say.
Mm. And I feel like just in general, when you're playing catch, you want an item that's going to contrast your environment. That way you can see the item coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
The black blends in with quite a few things out there, especially during the fall and winter seasons.
Mm-hmm. Right around dusk, which is, you know, when we were playing that, almost, it was about 4 o'clock, I'd say. You know, it was already a cloudy day, and it really didn't pop against the background, which it was all right. We did fine, but you know.
But we're just nitpicking. This was
a great
item.
We're nitpicking a fantastic item here, for sure. We just feel like we have to offer some negatives to everything just to be fair. But honestly, the plate was a stellar item.
Mm-hmm.
What wasn't a stellar item was the hubcap. It was bad.
First of all, I don't know where you're going to get a hubcap.
No, I mean, you definitely don't just sell hubcaps to people. You can't just walk into a store and buy one or something.
You have to find it somewhere.
You have to
take it from something.
You have to procure one somehow. You have to hope some poor schmuck hits a curb and breaks his hubcap, which, you know, you can't depend on that. You know?
I mean, you could always go take one too. But we're not
stealing.
We're
not
going to recommend that to you. I'm not going to encourage that. But if you do happen to steal one,
I will discourage that. Do not steal hubcaps, children. Or adults. Don't steal them either. Teenagers, it's gray area.
Do what you want, teenagers.
Yeah,
live your life.
Yeah, live now while you still are our age. It's too late.
Right. Then you end up throwing hubcaps for your YouTube channel.
Honestly, at some point, there's nothing to do but make bad YouTube videos. These videos are fantastic.
So the hubcap, aerodynamics were very good on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did fly like a frisbee.
That's a pro. I'm gonna give to it right now.
That is the only pro we're gonna give to it.
It flew very well.
Yeah, but when you come down to it, the show is catch of the week, not aerodynamics of the week.
That's later. That's later on.
It's not. We're not making that show.
Okay.
But catching this thing was terrible. It had very jagged edges on the inside that are meant to snap into the car, and so you try and catch it, and it's painful. It's basically stabbing your hands. I think I have this cut here. Probably can't see that.
All over my palms as well.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You were afraid to catch this thing.
Yeah. Now at some point we flipped it the other way, so the Nissan logo was down, and that made it a little better, but still precarious. And also it doesn't show off the fact that it's a hubcap at that point. It's basically just a frisbee.
Right.
So
we would have thrown a frisbee if we wanted to.
Yeah, right.
Don't throw the hubcap. Don't throw an apple pie.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw an apple pie.
However, you should absolutely throw a plate of Jell-O with fruit on the side.
Absolutely. So I think we're just ready to get into the rankings.
Let's do it. I'd say the winner of today
Winner?
Was the fruit on the side Jell-O plate.
Yes, sir.
The loser of the day is the hubcap.
Yep.
And just kind of right in there, in the middle somewhere, is your apple pie. No sugar added.
No sugar added apple pie. All right. There you have it. Number 1, the sugar included Jell-O with the fruit on the side in a plate. So sugar won the day with the Jell-O with the fruit on the side. All right, guys, so there you have it. The winner for the day is the plate of Jell-O with the fruit on the side.
Make sure you're following us on social media. We've got @DaveSizik is my Twitter handle, as well as my Instagram. You should not follow him on any social media. That would be a huge mistake. Make sure you like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you don't like it. But I can't foresee that happening.
No, but I mean, honest feedback's important. It's important.
Leave a comment. If you don't like the video, leave a comment.
Leave a comment, explain yourself.
Really more constructive.
We'd like to know. Make sure you come back next week for next week's exciting Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week. What's going on?
Are we doing that now?
No.
Do we need that?
Terrible.
Do we need that?
No. I don't know what's going on with me right now. I'm just being like a black hole of funny.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Realest guys in the room. All right.
This lemonade came out really good this time.
Yeah, it tastes delicious.